begin with seismic breaking news out of the NBA as we come on air. Brian Custer, Matt Berry, Shams Charania, our NBA insider with us. Kendrick Perkins here to break all things down. This is the one we've been waiting for, Shams, and it happened within the hour. LeBron James has made his decision.
LeBron James has informed the Los Angeles Lakers that he is moving on. He told the Lakers that they can move on with their business this offseason because he will be playing his 24th NBA season elsewhere. So now LeBron James departs the Lakers after 8 years. He won the 2020 NBA championship there. He will now hit NBA free agency tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm told happiness is the biggest factor in his decision to leave the Lakers.
Back to another edition of Inside the Zone with Mateo. Another live edition too, well, sort of. So, for those who may not know, my name is Mateo, and I host all the podcasts here on the channel. We normally talk about Minnesota sports, but NBA offseason's been crazy, so we've been doing a lot of just regular NBA content, right? Talking about NBA. We will talk a little Timberwolves today. And thanks so much for watching. If you guys are watching this live, I am live streaming this episode, but then it will also come out as just like a normal episode. So appreciate you guys for tuning in wherever you are at. Make sure you let me know what you guys think about my takes and just about all things NBA offseason related in the comments down below, but also in the chat if you are here live on YouTube. So appreciate you guys for watching. And we got some interesting things to get to today. Obviously, we got the LeBron latest, but also we're going to be ranking my top 50 NBA players to some extent here. So that's going to be pretty fun as well as we get towards the end of the episode. And who knows what might happen. We might have some breaking news pop up, during the show. But that's the fun of the live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell button on so you never miss any other episodes. And without further ado, let's talk a little bit about LeBron James, because why not? Why not? Let's talk a little LeBron, because that's obviously just what we want to do and what's been the hot topic, if you will, here in the NBA. So today, Rich Paul, his agent, basically laid out these 5 to 6 potential landing spots for LeBron James. Obviously, my Minnesota Timberwolves are right in that mix, and we're just going to kind of talk about like what could be some pros and cons. There was an article by ESPN that we'll take a look at here with some of that breaking down as well. But as you can see here on the left, he was open to every team, and now it has been cut down to a small region of teams. And most importantly, these 5 teams on the right side that you can see, this was Rich Paul's whiteboard from his podcast earlier this morning / late last night. If you can't see or if you can't tell which teams they are, on the right on the whiteboard is the Philadelphia 76ers with newly acquired Jaylen Brown. I almost said Joel Embiid, my goodness. Then you had the Giannis Heat. You got my Minnesota Timberwolves with LaMelo and Anthony Edwards, and we'll talk about it. You got the Denver Nuggets with Murray and Jokic, and of course the Cleveland Cavaliers with Mitchell, Harden, Mobley, Allen. There's obviously ties to the Warriors as well. There was, on here. Oh, sorry, my bad. On that whiteboard, I don't have it up right here. There were a couple other teams like the Mavericks that were a potential spot, the Knicks, the Spurs, and then, of course, the Warriors. We'll talk about the Warriors, but the Warriors, you guys all know really all of that, as it's been going around the NBA for quite some time. So I feel like we don't have to spend as much time talking about the Warriors as we do about these other teams. Obviously, LeBron has ties to the Heat and to the Cavs. Both played there. But then teams that are hunting for a ring, very competitive, like the 76ers, the Timberwolves, and the Nuggets, could all be very interesting landing spots for one of the greatest players in NBA history. So he's open to going anywhere, or at least he was when he said, I'm not going back to the Lakers. But then it's been cut down to really these 5. You can add the Warriors in, 6 teams. And it looks like actually there's one piece of information I should let you guys know here. it looks like the Warriors would only happen if they could get Anthony Davis, and it doesn't look that like that's going to be possible. So that is also why Warriors are not in this top 5 from Rich Paul. So we're going to, again, mainly focus on these 5 teams, but we will talk a little bit about the Warriors. Let me know, though, in the comments down below, where is LeBron going to end up? Let me know. And oh my gosh, hold up. We got some breaking news from Shams Charania as the Los Angeles Lakers. Speak of that, boys. Holy cow, we might be getting something going. They might have something cooking up. Hold up. Pause, y'all. Pause. We'll get back to LeBron in a second. we thought were going to be, plus the Warriors, of course, that Rich Paul has hinted that the LeBron James was interested in, right? Philly, Miami, Minnesota, Denver, Cleveland. Obviously, the Warriors are still in consideration. Here's the thing, though. If you missed this, LeBron looks like he's only going to end up in Golden State if they bring Anthony Davis in, which is why the DeAndre Ayton trade is so big of a deal, okay? That's why it's so big a deal, because that means potentially they have a center that could replace Anthony Davis. I also wonder if he could end up being resulted in another 3-team trade, like a sign and trade type of thing, where he ends up going to ATL or Toronto to, get a better haul for the Wizards. I don't know. But let's focus on LeBron here until something else happens. Man, that's crazy. Absolutely insane. Philly, Miami, Minnesota, Denver, and Cleveland. Out of those 5, possibly the Warriors. Obviously, there's been so much speculation about the Warriors. Now, even more is coming true. Even more speculation is coming into my mind, even as I'm just talking right here, reacting to this live. But we're going to focus on these 5 teams. Philly, obviously, just made the move for Jaylen Brown. You look at this, these 4 starters, given starters. Obviously, Dean Wade can start at the 4, but you have 2 guards in Maxey and Edgecombe. Brown can play the 2 guard, but he can also play the small forward. And then you have the center in Embiid. You are clearly missing LeBron's position as a power forward who doesn't even have to be. He'd maybe even be known as the 4th or 5th option. And that's exactly what he wants. Philly was not on our radar for the LeBron chase until they made that move. Because they could be a LeBron away from a championship. And I really like the idea of him in Philly, because it would just be completely different than all the other speculation, and it could just really shake up the East. The East is a little weaker, actually, after this offseason. It may not be as weak as it used to be. And I really do like the idea of Philly. There are some cons there. There's a lot of injury risk there. Obviously, Joel Embiid, and just some other players there. They are not the deepest bench there, but they have some guys who can play. Obviously, Maxey and Edgecombe are really fun to watch in the backcourt. You got Jaylen Brown, but also Jaylen Brown, dude, his behavior, and it seems he's getting a little toxic for me, a little too toxic. I don't know, maybe if you're gonna want to play there, but if it's all about a championship, you should definitely consider there, and he's of course doing that. Miami, because of Giannis, intrigues me. Now, if they had not had Giannis, I know all the storylines of him returning to Miami. That's great. But I don't think without Giannis you should even consider this, because you're trying to compete for a championship in year 24. That's the sole reason he's expressed that's the reason he's going to even take a minimum contract, or, the cheapest contract that the team can give him, so he can hunt for a championship. And LeBron and Giannis, that would be something fun to watch. That would be fun to watch. But again, without Giannis, it's not really, I don't think it's very intriguing, enticing, a place that he should want to go, especially if he's just hunting for a championship. Obviously, Minnesota, we're going to talk about that at the end, because that's my team. That's, there might be a little Wolves bias. I don't care, because we'll talk about that in a second. We'll move over to Denver. Denver makes sense. You'd probably move on from Aaron Gordon if that were to happen. Try to upgrade the 2-guard spot a little bit. But Jamal Murray, Jokic, Johnson, Peyton Watson, that would just be, Denver knows how to win already. They're kind of missing a piece. They haven't had great success recently, but if you want a chance to play with one of the greatest players ever, imagine Jokic and LeBron together. That'd be pretty fun, cool to watch. Throw Murray in there. The cons in that is that you are, of course, in the Western Conference again. The Western Conference has, a bunch of the more top dogs, if you will. They have OKC, they have San Antonio, they have Denver, of course, but they also have Minnesota. They have Portland, who I think is going to be very sneaky this year. They have some just other teams in the in the Western Conference that definitely are almost at a championship-ready level, if not there already. So there's always the risk there. And I will say that's definitely a con for Minnesota as well, just because there's a history of losing. As painful as it is for me to say, we know what losing feels like almost too well. And it's not just Timberwolves, it's all the teams in Minnesota. And then Cleveland, obviously. For me, Cleveland seems just a little weird because you'd have to probably play the 3. Obviously, it's a return home, but there's just some mixed feelings I have with Cleveland because I don't know how championship ready they are. Now, they're a very good, talented basketball team. But I just feel like out of these 5 teams, I think the only team I'm taking Cleveland over out of these 5 teams right now is Miami. I think I'm taking Philly over Cleveland. I think I'm taking Denver over Cleveland. I think I'm taking Golden State over Cleveland. And I think I'm taking Minnesota over Cleveland. However, I do still think it could be very cool, and I think the storylines would be great. A farewell tour would be perfect in Cleveland. But I also think there's a possibility you could maybe end up just trading him there if your team's not looking good at the end of the trade deadline, or maybe he signs a one-day contract, and you can still retire a Cleveland Cavalier. You can still retire a Miami Heat. But I think if you're truly looking for a championship, I don't know how much I want to trust and put that in the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers. A team that, again, this might be biased. A team that I would definitely want to put my trust in for a championship. A team that, forget this year, the last 2 seasons made the Western Conference Finals. A team that, without some of their best players, and actually their best player in Anthony Edwards fully healthy, were able to take the San Antonio Spurs to 6 games. The San Antonio Spurs went to the NBA Finals. Sure, they lost, but went to the NBA Finals, and the Minnesota Timberwolves still hurt without Dante DiVincenzo, with Ayo DeSumo hurt, with Anthony Edwards definitely, very clearly not 100% healthy. We're still able to take the Spurs into a 6-game series. How could you not? How could you not be intrigued? And we know he's intrigued. He stated it a couple days ago on one of the other episodes I've done live. We played the clip. He's like, Ant is that reason. He's got that ick factor. Minnesota, it's a very, very attractive place. And by the way, they added LaMelo Ball. They have Jaden McDaniels. They have Rudy Gobert. They have a very good, smart coach in Chris Finch. As much as, he gets on our nerves sometimes, he's still a very smart coach. Tim Conley is one of the best general managers in the entire league. He's proven that he will trade everything to get the best team possible on the court. No one's perfect, but Tim Conley's close to it. No more Julius Randle. Julius Randle was a problem. He got rid of him. He was okay letting Mike Conley and Kyle Anderson go, 2 beloved veterans. He traded the heart and soul of this team away. Besides Ant, it's Naz Reid. Does so much for the city. Fans love him. But what did he do? He traded him for LaMelo Ball. Tim Conley has proven that he wants to win, and the Wolves have been so close. And I believe this, and I'm gonna stand on this ground for a long time. If the Timberwolves were not injured, if maybe Ant was a little bit more healthy and I was healthy, okay, maybe if Dante was injured, sure, I'll give you that. But he tore his Achilles. If that not had happened, I think you could have had a very legitimate chance at winning the NBA championship, at winning the NBA Finals. Who knows what would have happened against OKC, but I think you would for sure have beaten the Spurs. You were able to take them to 6 games with all those injuries. Imagine if you were fully healthy. Imagine if Julius Randle wouldn't sell the bag. You replace Julius Randle with LeBron James. I don't care if he's 42 years old. That's an upgrade. You have LaMelo Ball. You have a solid bench. You have the young guys like Yohan Berenjay, Bones Highland, Jaylen Clark, TJ Shannon. How can you not be intrigued with LeBron to Minnesota? And in my idea, again, might be some bias, and at the end of the day, I don't care. I believe LeBron should go there. The only other team that I think he should be considering is, of course, the Golden State Warriors, because I think him with Steph would be amazing. They would do amazing things. Don't know, though. I don't know if that team could win the titles. So it'd be fun. So I think it's Golden State or Minnesota. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Where do you think he should end up going? I think Denver could be interesting. I think Miami, again, with Giannis could be interesting. I really like the idea of Philly. I think the team I have the most interest in LeBron going to in the Eastern Conference is Philly. Obviously, Cleveland has the storylines. Miami has the storylines. But Minnesota, man. Minnesota is a really, really interesting one. Now, I don't know if this video is going to work, but if you guys hadn't seen the clip, Rich Paul's podcast, they were just talking about Minnesota on this very issue here. It's about a minute long. I hope you can at least hear the audio. So we're going to share it over here because, man, this got me a little excited. So let me go over here, and we're going to actually move.
Let's get to Minnesota.
If you want to,
You got Ant, you got LaMelo. You remember when Ant said, "It's okay, we got Jay McDaniels, so it's okay because we got Jay McDaniels." And then you have Gobert plus Tim Connelly and that ownership group.
to me, let me tell you why that's the most interesting one.
Okay.
And this is why I said McDaniels was the key guy in that matchup with Denver.
Okay.
And he locked up Murray. And Murray, who's a great playoff performer, always great playoff performer, did nothing because he had a physical freak on him the whole series, right? Who also has an offensive game, shot blocker, who defensive player of the year. Until Wemby came along, every year he's a defensive player of the year candidate.
Right.
Ant is a superstar, and now Melo in the backcourt. The only thing Melo needs is like a mentor.
Oh,
right?
God.
If he has LeBron James there, that team, and what I love so much about it, Rich, is if LeBron were to go to the Thunder or even the Spurs, people like me, it's not exactly like KD going to the Warriors. It's not that extreme. But it's like, come on, Bron, you went to a ready-baked situation. This team was in the finals. They had a lead in every game. This team won the finals the year before. But if he goes to a place like Minnesota and who keep running up against the wall in the Western Conference Finals and puts them over the top, there's a different level of achievement and credit that comes with that. So I love that. And he's also more of a missing piece on this team than I think he is on any other team.
It has everything. Everything. Like, literally. Like, literally, bro. Sorry, I had that mic muted on this side. It literally has everything you need. LeBron, Minnesota, is almost picture perfect. I don't know, guys. It just excites me a little bit. It excites me a little bit because we've been so close as a Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been so close. Year in, year out. All of Anthony Edwards' career. We're just knocking on the door. And as Max said, you just can't get past that door. LeBron James. would do so much for Anthony Edwards, would do so much for all the young players. LaMelo, Jaylen, Ayo, Shannon, Yohan, Bear, and Jay. He'd do something special here. Lucas, how's it going? Appreciate you. It's going great. I just don't know how you can't go to Minnesota. No, I like the fit. I like the fit in Philly. I get the storylines in Miami and Cleveland. I get playing with Jokic in Denver. But it's almost a perfect fit. No, let me rephrase that. It is a perfect fit in Minnesota. Imagine LeBron James in Minnesota with Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. That your starting five. LeBron wouldn't have to be that first option. He wouldn't have to be the second option. He may not even have to be the third option on most nights. He could just be LeBron. He could be doing his things that he needs to do and hunt for that championship. And I kid you not, I was pumped up when they got LaMelo. And I was saying the Timberwolves have a legitimate chance because they finally have a point guard. They have a legitimate chance at winning the title this year. Imagine if they get LeBron. Imagine if they get LeBron. Imagine if any of these teams get LeBron. If any of these teams get LeBron, I feel like they have to be a top 5 at least, maybe top 3 final favorites. Because that's what LeBron could do. All these teams, maybe besides Miami, because we'll see how the Giannis thing goes. Golden State, Philly, Cleveland, Denver, Minnesota. I really do think they're just a LeBron away. One player, one piece from contending in this league. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm too hyped for this, but I don't know. I enjoy this. Honestly, Lucas says, honestly, I don't know where he goes at this point. Yeah, I mean, and we just had that DeAndre Ayton news that literally started the show. Literally went live, and we got that 2 minutes in. DeAndre Ayton traded to the Wizards for 2 second-round picks, and I think Jaden Hardy or something like that. And it's just interesting, and I'm literally scared now because we've gotten our hopes up. All of these teams have gotten their hopes up. These 5 teams, we thought maybe, okay, the Warriors make sense, but then we were saying, oh, the Wizards don't want to trade AD, and it looks like LeBron only wants to go to the Warriors if AD goes there. Then I said, okay, we're going to do this episode, and we're going to talk about LeBron, and then that happens, and I'm like, did the Wizards finally get a trade offer that they could not pass up for an injury-prone player, an older player that might not fit their timeline perfectly in Anthony Davis? I don't know. DeAndre Ayton to the Wizards, very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. But I think that's going to wrap up this part, and then we're going to move on to the second half of this episode that I had originally planned, unless, of course, any news drops out. We're going to do some rankings of some players, some top 50 players here in the NBA. And, you know, I don't know if there's going to be certain players left out. I just found a tier list. I made my own tiers. Yeah, he's not going to go to Washington. If he goes to Washington, because Lucas said, I saw a video today about him potentially going to Washington, but that's not happening. Yeah, I don't think he goes to Washington because he wants to contend. This year, as I already mentioned, this year is not about money. It's literally about chasing that ring. It's chasing that ring, and so he's going to go to a championship. But I found a tier list thingy. It's not the normal tier list. It's hoopgoat.com. Go check them out. They had, I think, 50 players here. So I don't know if all the players that I would maybe necessarily include would be in here. Like, they have Jonas Valanciunas as a top 50 player. So it's like, that's definitely a little debatable. But we're going to use these 50 players. The main guys are here. And we're going to rank, actually, sorry, these are Are these top 100? These are top 100 players. That makes a little bit more sense. A little more sense. It's a top 100 players here, and we're just going to talk about it because there's been a lot of speculation, especially with Jaylen Brown. Let me see if I can pull that tweet up where these GMs, some of these GMs are really disrespecting Jaylen Brown and just saying they don't even view him as a top 50 player in the NBA. So that just got me thinking, said, like, where do I have him? Honestly, where do I have him? So we're going to do that here for the kind of the rest of this episode here. Yeah, here it is from NBA Central. Let me share this here. I just thought it was really crazy. Really, really crazy. Is it there? Is it shared? Oh, no, bro. There we go. All right, perfect. Yeah, here it is. So an anonymous NBA general manager doesn't view Jaylen Brown as a top 50 player. So I can read the rest of it. I can read the rest of it here. Let me just get this. Yeah, there. Bam. Let me read the rest of this here for you guys. Though the idea of him being viewed as the 7th best player on a team was widely mocked, a recent report that one front office member saw Brown in that way illuminated the reality that advanced analytics never shine too brightly on Brown's game. Even more pointedly, a current general manager speaking anonymously to comment on internal team discussions told The Athletic in the wake of the trade that he doesn't view Brown as a top 50 player in the NBA. So this got me thinking. So we're going to go over here to, I believe it's hoopgoats.com. And they have their top 50 players. So they got Jokic, SGA, Luka, Giannis right there. They just had tiers of 1 through 10. I made individual tiers. So this is what we're going to do, and then we're going to kind of reorder this because like Julius Randle is an all-star. I mean, technically he kind of is, but it's kind of crazy. In the 4th ranked tier is kind of crazy. So we got faces of the league, superstars, stars on their team, all-star, star potential, second option, valuable piece, 6th man of the year type of player, starter, and bench. So let's start here on the bottom. Why not? Let's start on the bottom here with Jarrett Allen, because I really do think Jarrett Allen is a very intriguing piece. He's just an interesting player, and I'm not gonna maybe touch all of these if somebody is like in a good spot, like Christian Brown being in the bench category is not a crazy take. There's Walker Kessler, Miles Turner, right? Jonathan Kuminga. For Jarrett Allen, I have mixed feelings on this guy because I do think he's a valuable piece on this team, and he's a starter, so he's not going to be on a bench. He's a valuable piece, but he's none of this. For me personally, I'm going to put Jarrett Allen as a starter. I think he's definitely towards the end of the top 100. He could be a valuable piece, but maybe not 6th man. He's obviously not 6th man of the year. 6th man of the year is going to just be a weird category because it's going to only really be bench players, like the best of the bench players, if that makes sense, that maybe should be a starter on teams that they aren't. Guys, maybe you can think of some deeper teams like the OKC Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs where they have a deep roster, so some of those guys could definitely be a starter or maybe above a starter, so that's why it's above the starter role. But I think Jarrett Allen on a starter is a very good spot there. You got Lou Dort. Like, Lou Dort is that perfect example that he could be a starter on a team. He kind of is, depending on the day. I think he actually might have a legitimate chance at starting a majority of these games now because they don't have Isaiah Joe anymore. I do think he started quite a bit of those games. He's definitely a starter. I'm going to put him there, with Jarrett Allen. Draymond Green, current Draymond Green, definitely has some interesting options here. I don't think he's a bench player. He can still perform, but I'm going to put him here at like the start of the bench players, if you will. So he's almost a starter, and we might, depending on who we put there, we might put Draymond up a little bit, but he's definitely not close to the top 50 whatsoever. These are definitely the bottom 50 right now, if you know what I mean. Jonathan Kuminga. I really am a big fan of Jonathan Kuminga, but again, at the end of the day, Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, they're about the same for me personally. Maybe that's a hot take. And maybe Draymond Green's career is helping him a little bit, but I'm going to put him there. I'm going to actually keep Christian Brown here on the bench. I was very disappointed with Christian Brown this season. He's definitely, it feels like he's digressed every year. Like he had such a great rookie season and then he's just kind of digressed. That's just me personally. He could definitely be in the category of starter by Lou Dort, but I do think I'm taking Lou Dort over him. Dyson Daniels. This Dyson Daniels hate is absolutely insane. Like, he is a valuable piece to this team. I'm maybe too high on Dyson Daniels, but he is a valuable piece to this team. You then also have Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins can be on the bench. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Then Walker Kessler. Now, you got to take his context. You know, he got paid, bro. He got paid. He's going to be the starter in LA with Luka. And I think he's going to be not just a starter. Excuse me. He's not going to just be a valuable piece. I think he's going to be an all-star. I really do. I'm super high on Walker Kessler, but like I want to put him in the all-star. But yet, he's not proven that totally. He only played 5 games last season. He's not a second option. He has that star potential. I'm going to put him in star potential here. I feel like he's like right in the middle, if you will. He's either like just in the top 50 or just below it, if you know what I mean right there. That's just kind of my thoughts on him. Then Miles Turner. I think he's just the most average starter as well. Like, he's like the perfect starter. I think I'd probably take Lou Dort over him. I'd definitely take Jared Allen over him, but he's still a dang good starter. Then we'll get over here to Aaron Nesmith. I'm actually really high on Aaron Nesmith. He can start. He can come off the bench. I think he's chill on, as a starter where they had him. Amen Thompson. We'll have to see him play more possibly, but I don't see it yet. Yeah, for sure. I know. He needs to stay healthy. Amen Thompson, he's a starter. I don't think he's a second option yet. I think he's going to be in that valuable piece. I think him and Dyson Daniels kind of fit the same timeline right now. Then you got, Anthony Simons, who I think he's never going to quite be. Like, he might get some chances to start, and I don't know where he's going to end up, playing on his teams now because he's got moved so much. I like where he ended up, but I'm going to put him right at the high end of the bench. I don't think, in comparison, I think I'm taking Lou Dort. I think I'm taking Miles Turner. I think I'm taking a lot of these guys over him. I will take him over Draymond and guys like Kuminga and stuff, but it's close, okay? That's just where I see him. Maybe I'm a little low on him, but it is what it is. Then you've got RJ Barrett, right? Because we did Aaron Smith already. RJ Barrett really took a big step. He took a very big step last season. And a big step enough that I'm going to put him with the guys like Dyson Daniels and Amen Thompson. That's where I'm going to put him, and I'm going to leave him there. Isaiah Hartenstein now can start. He's proven that. But he's also on a deep team. I think he's the perfect fit for Sixth Man of the Year. Maybe that's too high. Maybe that may be okay. Well, Loki, hold up. I got to think about this too in a logic way. Am I taking Hartenstein over Jared Allen? Because I like Jared Allen, but the situation he's in also, he can start, but he's not always going to start. Okay, I'm going to put him down here. I can't put Hartenstein over Jared Allen. See, this is where the fun comes into it because you have to kind of work with the list. So I can't put Hartenstein over Jared Allen, so I have to just keep him in the starter category. Yeah, that's the fun of this for sure. Drew Holiday, he's a bench player. Like, I know he's going to start. He might start, he might not. He'll play the bench because he's got Dame and Ja now. Yeah, he's the easiest. That's the easiest. Like, he's right there with Draymond. Like, he's towards the end of his career. He's still good. He can still put up some good points. But no, yeah, he's a bench player for sure. And then we did Smith. Okay, Stephon Castle is way too low here. I don't know. He's not just a valuable piece. He's not just a second option. I really do think he's gonna be an all-star. He's gonna be an all-star. However, I'm going to put him in star potential because he could have a big fall off. He could have just had a really good start to his career and he could fall off. He's right there though. He's almost at all-star potential, or he's right there, guys. He's right there. Trust. All right. Then we got, is that Dylan Harper? No. Hold on. Dylan Harper better be on here. If Dylan Harper's not on here, bro, we're gonna have a problem, because let me tell you, he's right in that category with Stephon Castle. I might be taking Dylan Harper over Stephon Castle. That's just my opinion here. Then we got, Jordan Poole. He's perfect where he is. Then you have DeAndre Ayton right there. Yeah, I think Norman Powell. Both are like in like the perfect spots. I'm gonna drop Powell down. He did have a nice year, but I gotta keep him there. He's gonna go above some of these guys. And then DeAndre Ayton, he's just that low-end starter. Low-end starter right there. All right. Moving on, we got Emmanuel Quickly, 6th man of the year. He's not a 6th man of the year type of guy. And I do think maybe we might have to just get rid of this tier, just because the 6th man of the year is kind of throwing me off here. I think the valuable piece, 6th man of the year, kind of merges in. So that's what we might end up doing. Let's get rid of this category, and then we'll delete that tier. We'll start here. Emmanuel Quickly. He's a valuable piece, but he's also just kind of a low-end starter. I'm not super high on Emmanuel Quickly. I've never really have been. So I'm going to kind of just put him right in the mix here. Miles Turner, Norman Powell type of area. John Morant. Man, guys. Morant, I feel like his stock has just been digressing so much recently. Like, we saw what ended up getting him. I don't know if he's going to be a second option. He might be a star. I think I'm going to put him as the best starter so far, because I just don't know how he's going to fit into this Trailblazer system quite yet. Then you got Josh Hart, who, man, oh man, is he a valuable piece or what? He's going to go right there. I mean, that's easy. Van Vliet is just interesting because he's coming off of that injury. I think I'm going to put him here on the bench just because I don't know how he's going to come off of that injury. Maybe that's a little low. Let me know. And then you got Jaylen Johnson. You sleep on Powell? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sleeping on him. Where do you think he should end up going? Let me know. Where do you think he should end up going? Do you want him like valuable piece? Because I mean, I do see like Josh Hart and Norman Powell. I kind of see them the same. I'm just a little low on him here. I'll move him up a little bit for you, but tell me where you think he should go. Twist your dreams. Let me know. But Jaylen Johnson, way too low here, bro. He's not. I mean, he almost won. He got some MVP votes this year. He's not just a star potential. He's going to be an all-star, and I'm okay putting him right there. Then we got Michael Porter Jr., who is a valuable piece. He's also not a second option. He's an all-star. But, bro, I don't know, bro. I have mixed feelings on MPJ as well. Denny also, kind of same thing. I have very mixed feelings. I think Denny definitely has star potential. I think, dude, MPJ, because he's not as young as he used to be. I think I'm going to put him as valuable piece. I'm going to put him over Amen. I'm going to put him over Dyson Daniels. I'm going to put him right there. But we might adjust him here. Let me tell you guys, might put him a little higher after I see some things. Jonas Valanciunas needs to be back into the bench role. I don't know why. He's just going to be all the way down here. I don't know why he's even in the top 100. He's valuable, but still, definitely nowhere close to some of these guys. Miles Bridges is interesting as well. Like, all of these players are interesting because you have your ideas. Cameron Johnson as well. Like, Cameron Johnson can be a starter. I think that's fair for him. You know, the Lou Dort, Miles Turner area, that's pretty good in that area. I'm taking a men over MPJ. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm definitely taking a men. That's why I'm just putting him here. Like, I'm putting him right here, but I'm going to move him probably. I'm going to end up moving him. I like him, man. I just wanted to kind of see how this tier is going to turn out because the valuable piece tier is just a very interesting tier. But no, here, I'll do this for you. Yeah, I agree with that. For sure. Jalen Suggs is definitely just a low-end starter. He's right there with John Morant. He needs to kind of rejuvenate his career. And then Bridges is just kind of that low-end starter right there with Emmanuel Quickly and guys like that. So that's where I'm going to put them. And then we can delete this tier. Bam. that makes me feel a little bit better. And now we can move up to valuable tier, because this is, valuable piece, excuse me. This is where we can talk a little bit more about MPJ. He's done a lot for the Nets, but still, I don't know long term, because we do have to look into the future, and that's exactly why Lucas says I'm taking Amen over MPJ. Yeah, I'm probably taking Amen over MPJ just because of his, potential. And I do think I could put Amen Thompson in star potential. I think he fits with the guys like Stephon Castle. However, he's definitely a little lower than this for me personally. Then you had Franz Wagner, who's valuable. I think I'll probably keep him there for now. Brendan Miller, I'm super high on Brendan Miller. I just got to say, I'm going to put him here in star potential. I like what he's doing over there in Charlotte. Mikal Bridges, now that is just the definition. Him and Josh Hart are the definition of valuable pieces. The Knicks would not have won the NBA Finals if those two guys weren't on their team. I'm definitely taking Josh Hart over Mikal Bridges, but they're so valuable. It's literally the definition of valuable, right? That's why also Rudy Gobert here, same thing. You can replace him, but he is going to be missed when you do. I love Rudy so much, and he's definitely one of the most hated players in the league. Franz Wagner, though, again, I think he's there too. He just needs to stay healthy a little bit more for me to say, okay, confident he is a second option or a star potential. He just needs to stay healthy for me. Bradley Beal, why the heck are you down here? You're all the way down here with Jonas Valanciunas. I might actually put you down all the way at the worst of this list so far. Jaylen Green, dude, I have very mixed feelings about Jaylen Green. I'm going to put him low-end starter. Low-end starter, he fits, again, with it quickly. I think that's fine for him. I don't know how I feel about Mikal Bridges. This is Lucas saying, I don't know how I feel about Mikal Bridges. He helped them win the championship, but he didn't have too many great games. Yeah, for me personally, it's not about his offensive performance. It's more about just, the little things that he does, and that's kind of the same thing. Rudy Gobert has so much defensive presence, but he has no offensive game for the most part, and that's why I'm taking Josh Hart. Josh Hart can score. Mikal Bridges, though, I just feel did so many of the little things right that helped the New York Knicks win that championship, so that's kind of why I have them there, but no, it's a fair point for you. Trey Murphy. This Trey Murphy stock is rising too much in my opinion. I think he's a valuable piece, but man, guys, I'm not going to put him ahead of most of these players for sure. Then you got CJ McCollum, who, my man, bro, he stepped it up in the postseason. He earned a new contract. Applaud to him, but he's not a valuable piece. He's just going to be a low-end starter here, in my opinion. He fits right there with Jordan Poole. He fits right there with guys like Aaron Nesmith. I'm actually going to take him over Aaron Nesmith. I might even take him over Miles Bridges as well. That's he deserves it. I'm going to raise him up. We're raising him up a little bit. Raising him up, we're going to put him around there, in between Miles Turner and Cameron Johnson. Then we got Kristaps Porzingis, who, man, that guy can't stay healthy, but when he is healthy, he is super valuable. But again, he's still not that second option, so I think where they have him is perfect. I'm going to put him above some of these guys because he does have some offense, so I'm going to kind of just put him right in the middle, kind of the RJ Barrett, Josh Hart kind of that area of ranking him. Aaron Gordon, again, he's valuable, but he can't stay healthy. I'm going to put him towards the low end of the starters, like the Jalen Greens, Miles Turner, Emmanuel Quickley. I think that's pretty fair for him. Then you got Vucevic, who's definitely not in this tier. He's going to be down here as well towards the Aaron Gordon. I'm actually going to put him below some of these guys, kind of next to Jordan Poole. Then you got Josh Giddey, who is definitely on the rise, and I'm going to put him in star potential. He's definitely towards the end of the star potential, but I do think he's going to take some of these next steps, and I'm excited to see what happens. And then Kobe White, kind of same thing. He's got a lot of potential. I'm going to put him as a second option because I think he's going to be the second option to Con Knipple this year, so that's where I'm going to put him, kind of first player in the second option category for now. And then did we do Trey Murphy? Yeah, I'll leave Trey Murphy in that category for now. Then we'll move on next to this next tier here where they have Cam Thomas and the second option. And obviously, this was 10, 9, 8, like the 6th or 7th, no pun intended, tier. Cameron Thomas, dude, he needs to actually show me something. He's going to go down here with the Anthony Simons. I feel like him and Anthony Simons, kind of their career paths kind of fit the same kind of arc. Then you also got Jaren Jackson Jr., who I'm actually going to keep in second option. I think, obviously, you got some other guys in Utah, but I think he's going to hopefully rejuvenate his career over there in Utah. And then Jamal Murray. He's definitely that second option, but he's also an all-star. He had a great season. I got to put him up there a little bit higher than they had him originally. And then you got Desmond Bane, who I don't think he should be down here, guys. He's valuable, but he's also just kind of a starter right there with Jalen Suggs. That's kind of how I feel about him. I'm going to put him over Jalen Suggs, but again, it's pretty close with those guys. Then you have Zion Williamson at second option. I think what I'm going to put him kind of with the MPJ, Dyson Daniel area, invaluable piece. He just, again, can't stay healthy, and you got to be able to stay healthy. And he's noticeable when he is not on the court, so that makes him valuable. These are basically kind of like the players that are valuable, but aren't good enough to win MVP, if you will. Then you got, Zach LaVine, way too high. Way too high. He's, again, the definition of a starter. Just a normal starter. Nothing crazy about him. Sorry, Kings fans. I just not a huge fan of him. DeJounte Murray, valuable piece. I'll put him kind of towards the end here. Austin Reeves, yeah, he's that perfect second option. I love that. I'm going to take him over Kobe White. Then you got, oh, wait, hold on. I never did Cooper Flag. Sorry, Cooper Flag kind of jumped around. He's definitely star potential. I might raise him. I'm probably going to raise him higher, but we're just going to get him out of this tier for now. Then Brandon Ingram, super high on him in that Kawhi deal. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I've been super high on him. But what we're going to do here for Brandon Ingram is, I think, RJ Barrett. Yeah, that's right. Scotty Barnes is definitely the best out of those three. Brandon Ingram is going to be probably, I don't know. See, I don't know if Darius Garland or Brandon Ingram's going to be the star. I think the second option for Brandon Ingram's pretty chill. I'm going to put him, below these guys. And then OG Anunoby, just because of how efficient and how effective he was in that finals, I'm going to put him. He's technically not a second option on their team, but he could be on any other team. I'm going to put him right there. I'm actually going to put him above Kobe White as well. So that's where I'm going to put him in this category. We'll probably sink some of these guys down into a second option, just like Zubac. He has star potential, but I think he's more of a second option. He might even be a third option with Pascal and Halliburton. So I'm going to put him right there, kind of in the area of, I view him as a Jaren Jackson type of player. Then you got wonderful Paul George, who keeps on getting traded for a haul. I mean, he's been traded for SGA and so many other players. Jaylen Brown, he doesn't have that star potential anymore. He's definitely on his way out. He's still a valuable piece. He could be a second option in Boston, but I think he's just going to be kind of in that starter category, next to Zach LaVine, kind of that area of, skill level. And just also, he can't stay healthy. So again, health factor. Health is such a big factor for me. It's just kind of how I view it. Then we got, though, Lauri Markkanen. Star potential feels really nice with that. I really think him and Walker Kessler are kind of like the same type, how I view them. Maybe just because they've played on the same team together, and I just kind of always associate them together. But I really do believe they kind of are following the same paths. I probably would take Lauri Markkanen over some of these guys, but that's just, we can reorder it if needed. Chet Holmgren, star potential is kind of low for that. I think, obviously, he's struggled in the postseason a little bit, but he's an all-star. Don't overthink it. He's an all-star. He's still a very efficient player. Then you had Derek White, who, dude, he's getting older. The age is definitely getting up there to him. He might end up being that second option. I'm going to put him over there with, Kobe White. He's still got a lot of it, but his stock is definitely falling a little bit for me. I just realized that was Devin Vassell, not Stephon Castle. I apologize. They all look the same. Guys. Then you got DeMar DeRozan, who it looks like he's going to be on his way out of the Kings very shortly. He's, again, right there next to Zach LaVine as a starter. Maybe I might take Cameron Johnson over that. Maybe I might take CJ McCollum. I'm actually taking Aaron Gordon over that as well. Then you got you got Stephon Castle, who's definitely in that star potential range next to Cooper Flagg, Devin Vassell, Denny, Brendan Miller, Lauri Markkinen, Josh Giddey. LaMelo Ball, dude, he's like, for the Timberwolves, like, I really want him to be an all-star, but I think he's still young, and we're still trying to figure out who he is going to be. I think he's definitely in here, in this area. I'm going to put him kind of next to Lauri Markkinen and Brendan Miller. Then you got Scotty Barnes, who I think is definitely an all-star already. Love him for Toronto. Then you got Darius Garland, who's going to stay at star potential just because I don't know if he can take that next jump, but we're going to hopefully, I really want him to see. I'm going to take him over Josh Giddey. Jimmy Butler is just a obvious second option. Just because he's injured, he's going to lose. I probably would have put him here, but if he was like him over Austin Reeves and OG Anunoby, but I'm going to put him below some of these guys just because of his injury, and we don't know how he's going to recuperate after that. Actually, I'm going to put him under some of these guys as well. His stock is definitely falling because he can't stay healthy. He's getting up there in age. But then you got J-Dub. And J-Dub is... I don't want to disrespect J-Dub's name, but he can't stay healthy. And if I've been doing so much of these ratings based on health and their ability to stay healthy and also their skill that I have to keep him in star potential because we don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy, but he's definitely still a top player in this league. Then you got Peyton Pritchard as the last one, and he is also, again, a definition of a second option. He's not an all-star quite yet, but he can also be there. Wait, sorry, my bad. That's Tyler Hero. Where's Peyton Pritchard? I don't know. Tyler Hero. My bad. Golly, guys. Sorry, this is sometimes when I have to realize I got to click on these guys so I make sure I'm getting these guys right. No, that is Tyler Hero. I apologize for that. Tyler Hero's... Dude, he might end up being the star on this team. I think he'll end up being valuable for the Bucks, but the only reason he's in this category is... Actually, no, bro, I'm putting him down in the starter role. I'm putting him in the Lou Dort area of conversation. That's kind of how I view him. I think Lou Dort's better, but that's where I'm going to put him. Paul George, that area. And now we move over to some of the more intriguing names, obviously. Jaylen Brown's coming up very shortly, and that's kind of what made us talk about this whole thing. But, dude, it's interesting. It's interesting here for some of these next guys. We got Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's an all-star. I'm going to keep him right there. I like him. Pascal Siakam, he's an all-star. I'm going to actually take Evan Mobley over him. Jaylen Brown. He's not a superstar. I'm sorry. He's not a superstar. He's not a face of the league. He is a star on their team. But, bro, due to recent events, is he better than Chet? Here's the thing. I'm taking Jalen Johnson over Jaylen Brown. That's just me, personally. Jamal Murray is close. I think that's where we're going to put him, right in the middle of those guys. And I don't want to disrespect him. And some of these guys that I see above him, they're going to be put down. So he's going to end up still higher in the list. But he's an all-star right now. He, is a star. But there's something about just really within the recent days that I don't know why not saying he's a top 50 player is absurd. That's absurd. But I don't know if he's a top 10 player. I don't know if he's a top 15 player. He might be a top 20 player, but we'll see how this ends up. De'Aaron Fox, bro. Oh, he's an all-star, but man, it's been rough. I'm going to put him under here just because of you know why. You know why we're putting him there. Damian Lillard, he didn't play last season. I can't put him there. I have to put him as a valuable piece. Where's Jimmy Butler? There we go. Yeah, I'll put him with Jimmy Butler. I'll put him, right there because we know he can still shoot the ball. He won the three-point contest, I believe, last year. And he's going to come back. He's still a veteran, but again, that injury, you can't have him up there, right? Jaylen Brown's top 25 for sure. Top 25 is the key word there. Yeah, I think he's in the 25 to 20 range. I just don't know. Lucas, would you put him in stars on their team or all-stars? Because I'm going back and forth between there. He's either on the low end of stars on their team or the high end of all-stars. I mean, I don't know if it necessarily matters because the ranking is what we'll pay attention to, but that's just kind of how I view it. Kyrie Irving, by the way, same spot as Damian Lillard. Really fits that same position, just of injured the whole season. We don't know how he's going to come back. Tyrese Maxey, he's a superstar. He's close to a superstar. I kind of rushed that. We're going to put him at star on their team, but he's close. By the way, there we go. Cade Cunningham, you're a superstar at least. We'll put you higher. Bro, that guy can hoop.
Let's finish out the All-Star cat. Why is Sabonis there? Why is Sabonis there? Why is Sabonis and Julius Randle? Why are they there? Julius Randle, I'm sorry, you're a second option. You are a low-end second option. I'll probably take you over some of these injured guys just because you can perform in the regular season, but my gosh. And then Sabonis, I think he's a valuable piece. He's kind of around that Zion Williamson category, Kristaps Porzingis category. I like that. And then you got Bam Adebayo, who's an all-star. Yeah, that fits him perfectly. I'm going to put him, right there. That's perfect. Next to Evan Mobley and Chet Holmgren. And now we're kind of getting to the top 3 tiers with Trae Young. He is a star, but I think he's more of an all-star type of dude. And I do think some of these categories could merge a little bit better. I just kind of rushly made these tiers. I think Trae Young is kind of in that De'Aaron Fox category. That's kind of how I'm going to view him. Cat is definitely a star on their team. I mean, it's right next to Tyrese Maxey. I just realized, is VJ Edgecombe not on this? That's sad. That's unfortunate. Tyrese Halliburton is definitely a star on their team as well. I can't put him on superstar yet because, again, he's coming off of that injury. Not Evan Mobley. Anthony Davis, he's a star. He's just not a superstar. Paolo Banchero, I think we're going to drop Paolo down to an all-star. I think I'm taking a lot of these players over Paolo Banchero. He just has a lot to prove for me personally. Victor Wembanyama's in the face of the league category. Alfred Şengün, I think he's an all-star, or I'm going to give him star potential. Drop him down a little bit because he has definitely areas to grow. James Harden is a star. I'll keep him there. Same thing with KD, but I'm going to drop him. Kawhi, he's a superstar, bro. I don't care. D-Book is a star on their team. He's going to go right next to Tyrese Maxey. And I'm really comfortable with this. I'm put probably Tyrese Halliburton over Karl-Anthony Towns just because he is pretty clutch. And we know what he's capable of. But now this is where it gets a little interesting. Joel Embiid. Is he a superstar still? I don't think he's a superstar. I think Joel Embiid is definitely a star. I think Tyrese Maxey is that best player on their team. Yes, even better than Jaylen Brown. I think he's in the categories, though, of a Karl-Anthony Towns, of an Anthony Davis, when he can stay healthy. KD definitely has taken a bit of a step down. I'm going to put KD over Anthony Davis, though, just because he can stay a little bit more healthy. Kawhi staying in superstar is good. Anthony Edwards is one of the faces of the league, and I might be glazing him too much. I don't care. He's at least a top 6 player. Arguably a top 5 player, arguably a top 3 player in my opinion. Jason Tatum, just because of the injury again. Injuries have a lot of factor, guys, because if you can't stay on the court, how can you perform and how can we judge you, right? So that's the thing. Jason Tatum, though, is still a superstar. LeBron James, you're going to be an all-star. And I don't want to disrespect him. He could be a star, but I got to put him on an all-star just because of his age. I'm going to kind of put him, down here. Area. I don't think it's disrespecting him too much. It's just, he's 42. He's still going to do great things. Y'all know how much I want him to be on the Timberwolves or on another team, and he's going to do great things. But he's not there yet. Curry's still doing some great stuff, but I'm going to take Tatum over him, and I'll take Curry over Kawhi just because Steph Curry is Steph Curry. Donovan Mitchell over, I don't think I'm going to take Donovan Mitchell, the Speeda, over Jason Tatum. Jalen Brunson is one of the best, clutchest players in the league. I'm actually going to take him over Cade Cunningham currently just because of the experience, of the examples of how good and clutch he's been. And then Giannis is still one of the faces of the league, but I'm going to drop him to superstar. And I think these 5 are the faces of the league. And with that being the top players. Jokic, SGA, Luka, Wemby, Anthony Edwards. I don't think you can go too wrong with whoever you pick as the best player. I'm putting Jokic 1. I'm going to put Wemby 2. I'm going to put Ant 3. I'm going to put SGA 4 and Luka 5. And let me defend this. Jokic is a walking triple-double. Wemby is absolutely absurd. It's almost illegal to be that tall and to be that good. It's insane. Anthony Edwards is the best two-way player in the entire league. Maybe besides Victor Wembanyama, but that's because of his size. The ability that Ant has to just play great basketball. He's an entertainer. He is way more fun to watch. I don't think there's a player that's more fun to watch than Anthony Edwards. He doesn't do his foul baiting thing. That's where SGA has some points off from him. He does all the things right. You miss him when he's off the court. And he's likable. He's dude, literally, it's going to be Wemby versus Ant for the next couple of years for the face of the league. And Luka, the only reason Luka's at the bottom of these 5 is because of the lack of defense. All 4 of these other guys can play some sort of defense. Luka's defense, sure, it's gotten better, but Luka's going to still be a top 5 player. He's still clutch. He still can score, but he's going to be at 5. So this is kind of what I'm doing. I think you can definitely change little pieces of this, but these are my top 100. We're just going to go through the top 50, though, just so you can have an idea. I want to see where Jaylen Brown ended up for me too. But we got Jokic at 1, Wemby at 2, Ant at 3, SGA at 4, Luka at 5, Giannis 6, Jaylen Brown 7, Cade 8. Then you got Jason Tatum at 9, the speed of Donovan Mitchell 10, 11 is Curry, 12 is Kawhi, 13 is Maxey, 14 is Devin Booker, 15 is Tyrese Halliburton, 16 is Kat, 17 is Joel Embiid, 18 is KD, 19 is Anthony Davis, 20 is James Harden, 21 Jalen Johnson, 22 is Jaylen Brown, 23 Jamal Murray, 24 LeBron James, 25 Scotty Barnes. Those are my top 25. And then 26 is Chet, 27 is Bam, 28 is Evan Mobley, 29 is Paolo Banchero, 30 is Pascal Siakam, 31 Trae Young, 32 is going to be De'Aaron Fox, and then you got Cooper Flag at 33, I believe, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 is LaMelo Ball, 40 J-Dub, 41 is Markkanen, 42 is Kessler, 43 is going to be Darius Garland, 44 is Josh Giddey, 45 is Austin Reeves, 46 OG Anunoby, 47 Kobe White, 48, 49 area is Derek White, 49 or 50 is Julius Randle, I lost track, and then about 51 or 50 is Jimmy Butler. So those are kind of what I'm thinking for my top 50. Where do you guys think I went right? Where do you guys think I went wrong? I think it's definitely, you can edit things based off of certain scenarios. If you remove health factor, I think this definitely looks a little different. But that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Again, here's the full list. You can pause the video, pause the live stream if you want to just see the full list of the rest of the pieces. A lot of just kind of normal starters. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys for watching all of this. We've had a bunch of guys just chilling here, chatting. Appreciate you, Lucas. Appreciate Twist Your Dreams. Appreciate Jeff as well. Thank you guys so much for watching and just making this worthwhile. It's really just fun to provide content that hopefully you guys are enjoying. I don't think there has been any other LeBron news, any other NBA related news that, we should talk about, or that we can talk about. We can talk, I guess, a little bit about any other moves that went down, but at the end of the day, nothing else crazy happened. I'm trying to find Shems. Like, again, we had the DeAndre Ayton trade, which that was crazy. Obviously, a crazy deal. We did have a trade with, I guess here, we can close with this. We had the Houston Rockets trade for just for a second round picks or something. It was Dorian Finney-Smith going to the Charlotte Hornets for, I believe, just some draft capital. That just kind of happened before I hit go live. But again, that's really the only news besides the DeAndre Ayton one, but we already talked about that. So that's just kind of what's going on here. I appreciate you guys for watching. I think that's where we're going to end it. Again, I'll see if there's anything else that I had missed that maybe is... Okay, Quita, whatever, signs a 4-year extension with the Boston Celtics. Tari Eason did agree to a 5-year, $81 million contract. But for the time being, this is where I'm going to sign off, I think. We're just kind of waiting for LeBron. That's really what the league is waiting for. We're waiting for LeBron James, whatever he's going to end up deciding on where he's going to play. It's a fun time in the NBA for sure. Where do you think LeBron James is going to end up playing? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat here quickly before we end up leaving. Will it be one of these 5 teams? Will it be the Golden State Warriors? Let me know. And yeah, again, thank you one more time for watching this video. Thanks for watching the stream. If you've been in the stream, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell button on so you never miss any other episodes. And as always, don't forget to keep God first because He's the most important thing in your lives. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.